My husband wants biological children and is acting resentful towards our adopted daughter. How do I fix this? My husband and I adopted a little girl 3 years ago. She's now 6 years old and the brightest bowl of sunshine, genuinely sweet and lively. Lately though, my husband has completely changed in the way that he treats her and changed his views on what we initially agreed on. To explain, I've always wanted children, but it was always with adoption in mind. It's not due to infertility, it's just what I wanted to do due to different reasons. I have told my husband as much in the past, and although he didn't understand why at first, he came around to the idea and seemed pretty excited too. So we decided to adopt, and at first he seemed genuinely happy and was a loving father to her. For roughly the past year though, he started acting weird. It started with him making comments about how he would like to have biological children. It was never something big, just offhanded, but I still found it weird and I told him as much. He stopped doing it, but around the same time, he started acting more dismissive towards our daughter. He stopped spending as much time with her inside, and especially outside of the house, rarely taking her anywhere anymore. And it got so bad that he even dismissed her when she tried to get him to play or spend time with her. I talked to him about it, and he just said that he was stressed. It got better for a while, but then the same happened again, and this is how it's been going for the past couple months. So at one point I decided to talk to him, not asking him to do better, but just understand what was wrong. He told me that although he loved our daughter, as a man, he craved to have his own biological children, and that our daughter is old enough to have a younger sibling now, and that we should try for one. I told him the same thing. I said years ago, and several times after that I did not want that, and reminded him that back then he was okay with that too. He said that his bond with our daughter would get stronger if we had a biological child, and I was so incredibly angry and heartbroken. I don't know what to do. I don't want to have another child, and I hate how he treats our daughter now. I've thought about counseling, but I'm just wondering if anyone else has gone through the same. At the end of the day, I know that I'll put my daughter above all else, and seeing how sad she's been lately just breaks my heart. I feel like a complete failure as a mother, and would honestly appreciate any insight from people that have gone through anything like this. In the comments, Complaint Think says, I'm calling BS on having a biological child strengthening his bond with your daughter. Unfortunately, it sounds like you already know what you need to do for the sake of your child. And it's not getting pregnant with this dude. She needs to make headway, because he's gonna leave her for a woman who will give him a biological child. Bullshit. He's treating her poorly to manipulate you into having his biological child, and that's incredibly fucked up. I could never have another child with someone who would treat his daughter this way. Exactly this. That logic makes zero sense, and sounds like emotional blackmail. A good father doesn't withhold love from one child to get another one. The fact that he's willing to hurt a 6-year-old to get what he wants tells you everything you need to know about his character. It's literally abuse. The cognitive dissonance a 6-year-old child is going to experience when a parent withdraws first their literal parenthood, their attention, and affection is exactly how you destroy a child's ability to feel secure in their world and their life. OP, this is a bait and switch, a classic manipulative abuse tactic. They drop the mask a million ways as the relationship progresses. This brings devaluing and dismissing rational reasons and arguments. It makes you question your reality. You told him your value about this before you married, and it was both made real and reinforced when you both adopted your wee girl. You fully understand and committed to your role as an adoptive parent, and he lied. And now he's withdrawing from being her parent and wants the better version, his own biological child, who, by nature of being biologically his, is and always will be superior in his dynamic. I would divorce before I would let someone do that to my child. If you plan on putting your daughter above all else, you'll be leaving this man yesterday. As an adopted kid who has had supportive parents, absolutely. My parents treat me as their own because I am their child. If my dad stopped treating me like his kid, I would pick up on it and never be the same again. That kid will find out, and OP needs to get away before this kid is old enough to realize she isn't truly wanted by one parent. This is the time for OP to do the right thing. I couldn't agree more with that. I don't think there is any other way to continue this relationship with this man. It's only going to get worse from here. He's already committed so many sins. Why would he not commit more in the future? Like, this guy is just going to abuse OP more. He's going to abuse this adopted child more. Then he's just going to disappear one day. It is written in stone at this point. It is going to happen. Stop waiting around for him to leave, OP, and beat him to the chase. And now, onto the update. I have read all of your comments and cleared my head. There are some things that I wanted to share with some of you, especially with the majority of people here that are concerned for my daughter's well-being, and especially those who are adoptees themselves and shared their views and experiences with me. There were also some things that stuck out to me which I wanted to clear up. First of all, under no circumstances did I consider having biological children with my husband after he had expressed that that is what he wanted. I made that decision for myself years ago and thought that my husband was fine with that. Although now I'm realizing just fine, despite the excitement he had shown back then, was not enough, and I should have noticed the signs earlier. I can't stop thinking that I could have prevented some of my daughter's hurt by thinking more with my head early on. As for what I'll do going forward, divorce had already been something I considered before posting on here, but due to me overthinking, circled back to possibly overreacting and wanted more opinions outside of my immediate friendship circle. Ultimately, as many of you have pointed out, I can't really imagine a future where he truly treats our daughter the way that she deserves. I've come to terms with that, and was stupidly blinded by what I had built up with my husband over the years. I know now that therapy won't change how he feels, but I will still consider it for my daughter, depending on how she deals with these upcoming months. Although I'm inclined to consider therapy no matter the outcome, since she's already shown to have noticed her father's neglect. In my post, I said I always put my daughter above all else, and I truly believed I had done so, but I've absolutely failed her for these last couple of months, dragging this situation on longer than needed, and with that, extending her hurt. That's why I want to get the divorce over with as soon as possible. I've already begun consultation with a lawyer, but am still keeping other options open. I won't tell my husband about this yet, but once I've gathered all of my thoughts, I will probably talk to him to express my concerns and disappointment, and especially the effect his treatment has had on our daughter one final time. Though he's already said that I've been avoidant lately, so I'll talk to him about everything sooner rather than later, but I really do want to keep a level head and say everything I want to say. I can't see him the same way that I did before, and I don't think anything he says will really change that. I don't know whether he'll still want to be in her life, but even if he does to some extent, I don't want him in it, only half-heartedly, and I simply can't see him fully committing. So cutting him out of my daughter's life might be the best way. However, my husband's family really adores my daughter and always showers her with love and gifts. So I'm hoping that we can separate amicably, and I don't have to separate my daughter from any more people that love her unconditionally than needed. From now on, I really will put my daughter above all else, and I really want to thank everyone that has shown concern for my daughter, given me advice, and told me what I've been doing wrong. In the comments, Fjordgard says, "I'm glad that you came to this conclusion, but be on edge. He might push for custody to avoid paying child support. Please also make sure that your daughter is elsewhere when you talk to him, and just to be absolutely sure, you are safe as well, / someone knows what's going on in case things turn ugly. I know you might think that this is unneeded, but you never know how ugly someone can truly be, and you're now already learning that your husband doesn't mind upsetting a girl that he adopted as his own. I wouldn't trust this man, and thus do my best to ensure my safety. Opie, I think you made the right call. Your daughter deserves parents who love her unconditionally, and sadly, it appears your husband doesn't. I also just want to comment on, quote, I don't know whether he will still want to be in her life, but even if he does to some extent, I don't want him to be in it only half-heartedly. So cutting him out of my daughter's life might be the best way. I don't know if you did it intentionally or subconsciously, but in your original post, you referred to your daughter as our daughter. Throughout this post, it's always my daughter. It looks like you've already started mentally distancing yourself from him and accepting that he's no longer a loving and reliable father figure to your daughter. I honestly hope he doesn't come to her for child support. for a child that he doesn't even want? He chose to marry her. He chose to adopt this girl. I know people do it, but I think it'd be incredibly damaging to this girl if he were to be pushing for child support so that she would still be in his life. I hope that OP contests that, and I hope that OP wins if and when that does happen. And yeah, like that commenter said, OP is already subconsciously or intentionally calling her my daughter. And I tend to agree with that as well. He's been anything but a father figure to her. I don't think he deserves that place in her life going forward, and I don't even think he can earn that back. I don't think you can trust him again. Good luck, OP. I hope it all goes well for you. It doesn't sound like it will from your description, but miracles can happen. Our next post is by user OptimalAd885, and it's titled, "Would I be the asshole here if I aborted my baby without telling my husband? I, 29 female, found out I'm pregnant not too long ago. For context, I have 3 kids. I had them pretty close in age, they are all a year apart, and I know that's pretty irresponsible. When I told my husband, 38 male, that night that I'll be getting rid of it and then a tubal ligation, he freaked out and said children are a blessing and I want to ruin our family. He refused to get a vasectomy because he says what if he wants more kids later? He also refuses to let me get rid of it. No, I am not on birth control, mainly because of the bad side effects it has on me, and also my husband thinks it isn't good as it alters the things my body should do. I do not want to have the baby, mainly because I've had 3 C-sections, 1 planned and 2 emergency. So I know for a fact I am so done, and this would be a wiser option for me. I had went to book my appointment to the clinic yesterday, and the nurse gave me an attitude and asked me questions like, does the father of the baby even know? I told my mum about this and what my plan is, and she told me not to turn away from my responsibilities. She made statements like, he is the father and he has a right to know what you want to do to his kid. I know she's trying to be morally right, but I know he won't let me do this, so I have to hide it. To be honest, I regret telling him that night, and I still don't know why I told him. All our pregnancies I took the test while he waits outside, so it was the same here. I guess I thought he would see my point. I am so drained because I know it's the right thing for me to do, but when everyone around you makes you feel like you are a terrible person for it, I still have not told my husband. I'm scared that I'm going to regret doing it, but at the same time, I'm scared I'll regret having the baby or risking my life to have it. Would I be the asshole if I went behind his back and do it? In the comments, Old Student Chaplain says, this doesn't sound like a healthy marriage. Sounds very religious, especially if mum is on the same bandwagon as hubby. I'd point out, do you want me to turn out like that lady who had PPD and killed her 4 kids because they didn't do birth control or safe sex? It sounds like a freaking nightmare. I mean, OP and I are the same age. Though I'm 30 in less than a month, and my fiance's only a year younger than her husband, and we've been together since I was 26, but he would, and has never, pushed for any blessing babies. He doesn't prevent me from being on birth control or using any form of protection, and he's getting a vasectomy soon too. I haven't had kids, nor do I want them. I already deal with enough with endo. It makes me fear just how young OP was when they started dating, got married, etc., and when they pretty much forced, if you prevented your partner from using any kind of birth control and cummed inside, then yeah, it is fucking forced, pregnancies started happening. OP, please disregard everyone else's shitty judgments. Do what is best for you. After you get the abortion and tubal ligation, I really think you should see a therapist and really consider if your marriage is even worthwhile. He sounds like a controlling asshole who sees you as his personal baby-making machine and nothing else. That worries me. 3 C-sections in 3 years? Does your husband know that that puts you at an increased risk of uterine rupture? Please speak with your OBGYN about this. You are not the asshole, and this may literally be life-threatening for you. OP says, I will. You should also see about being sterilized. You can't trust your husband not to continue impregnating you and then saying no to an abortion. Stop sharing with your mum also. She's not helping you. Mum and the nurse can keep their moral lectures. They are not the ones risking surgery or raising 4 kids. Advice is cheap when they do not pay in pain or time. That nurse actually needs to be reported. If she had any knowledge of OP having 3 C-sections, she should not be shaming her for wanting an abortion. She should recognize that this is a very high-risk pregnancy now. Shouldn't shame her regardless of her medical history. High risk or no, medical professionals shouldn't be shaming their patients. I agree with all of that, and I feel like I want to double the word count of the comments so that I can get more of that sentiment through. High risk or no, she should not be shaming OP in this situation. Who the hell does she think she is for doing that? I don't think you're the asshole here if you aborted the baby, OP. I think there is a big age gap in the relationship that you are in right now. I would imagine that it started when you were fairly young and you have been groomed into the situation that you are now. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, 29 and 38, or that's not an age gap relationship. We don't know that they didn't start when she was 19 and he was 28. But she's in an abusive situation right now. She is currently being controlled, manipulated, and not allowed to be on birth control by her partner. There is a huge imbalance in the relationship. I'm going to guess that the culprit is the goddamn age gap, among many other things here. Again, I don't think you'd be the arsehole in this situation, OP, but this is an incredibly difficult and tense one, and there may be many ramifications for you if you go through with this. And now, onto the update. Hi everyone, this is just a last update. Thank you all for your support, I really appreciate it. I did speak to my husband, I think a while after making the post, and he was still adamant on the fact that I am wrong. He threatened to leave me and called me a murderer, but I wasn't budging. He told me I am selfish. I saw a comment saying that I was wrong for not telling him. If you look back at my initial post, he knows I'm pregnant and want an abortion, so I'm not hiding it from him. The only thing I am hiding is when I'm getting it done, so he doesn't try to stop me because in his words, he said, "Let's see if you get it done." I had a comment say the 4th one wouldn't be a risk since they allow C-sections up to pregnancies, ... They don't say how many. But with my case, I had 2 emergency C-sections due to placenta previa, and I even hemorrhaged in my last one. About the birth control comments, I am not on birth control because I have high blood pressure, and even when I wanted to get the IUD, the doctor advised against it. Condom use is our main prevention, including safe and unsafe days, but sometimes they don't work for us. And the age question, we met when I was 22 and dated not more than a few months after that. Then we got married at 23. And to how did I get pregnant if I knew our prevention is not serious question. I was fully not active for I think a year after he refused to have a vasectomy while still wanting to be sexually active unprotected because he hates the feel of condoms. This pregnancy happened just because we went for a drink to talk about this and de-stress. I still don't know how it happened, but oh well. With all that being said, I will be getting the termination. It's been booked for Monday next week. I don't know on whether I'll come back to update what happens after the termination. I have 3 beautiful baby girls, and I want to be an alive mother for them. I will consider separation, but that's a big decision, so I will have to consider it further and look into it. And to everyone saying I should terminate and then say that it's a miscarriage, thank you for the idea. I can also leave for a few days and then come tell him that I did it. I'm nervous about the recovery process. I hear the pain is brutal. Thank you for all of your support and advice. In the comments, Snow Advice says, maybe a divorce would actually be better for you. Your husband doesn't seem to care if you live or die, and seems very selfish. This will end in divorce either way. The husband will certainly divorce her for having the abortion. Good. Let the trash take itself out. If condoms have failed this many times, I think they may not be failing, but tampered with. Please get away from this man. He is escalating and is not safe for you to be around. I wish you hadn't told him at all to keep yourself safe. I'm piggybacking off this comment in hopes that OP might see it. The recovery process after a surgical abortion isn't that bad. I've had one. I don't remember any pain, just some cramping and bleeding. The recovery process after actually birthing a baby is much harder, just as a comparison. You will be okay. Don't worry about that part. Please stay safe. Find someone you trust to take you to the appointment and to stay with you for the day or two after, and a safe place for you to rest and recover afterwards. Do not trust this man. I don't believe your husband to be a safe person for you to be near right now, or ever. You might want to tread carefully about letting your husband know of the situation. He would most likely react very badly, so make sure that you have a safe space to go before letting him know. Something about that "I still don't know how it happened" oopsie that led to this pregnancy isn't sitting well with me. Sounds like the husband may have purposefully gotten OP drunk to have unprotected sex, hoping that this would happen. Men who don't want women on birth control and refuse to wear condoms rarely have noble reasons for either. Yeah, I kind of feel sick after reading that one, and I don't know if OP is aware of that or not. You'd feel like if she's like, "We went out for drinks, and then I got pregnant after," you would put two and two together in that situation, and to me it kind of sounds like she's in denial, but there is a bit of breadcrumbing going on here. The thread got locked on Reddit. You're not allowed to comment anymore. I'm sure she has a lot of people reaching out to her for help, but this is not the writing style of someone that is okay right now, and I hope that she gets all of the help that she needs. That is a very scary update. It doesn't exactly sit well with me. I hope OP pulls through. I hope she comes back with another update and tells us that she's okay. But for now, OP, keep going forward with your plan, and I say stay away from him if you can. He is not safe to be around. Thank you for the story, thank you for the update, and best of luck going forward. I believe in you. Anyway guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.